Tennessee's considering a return to returnables. We've nicknamed it POP, for pride of place. POP will do a lot more than just get cans and bottles out of our ditches. POP will boost manufacturing, launch small businesses, raise cash for schools, even cut costs for farmers. And it'll create new Tennessee jobs, because instead of throwing away 4 billion cans and bottles every year into our landfills, we'll be moving them back into production. Most jobs will be in the redemption centers. These will range from storefront redemption centers to mobile redemption centers to portable redemption centers to scrapyard-based redemption centers to nonprofit or government-run redemption centers to electronic redemption centers. Some of them will accept other recyclables besides containers, but they will all operate entirely off of the scrap revenues plus a share of the unclaimed deposits. We'll start our tour by visiting some redemption centers.
Store owners should embrace the bottled milk. Relatively easy way to increase profits without spending a lot of money. I set my first redemption center up for the cost of what it cost me to buy one gasoline pump. You know, you don't spend any money till they come through the door. You don't keep them warm. You don't keep them cold.
I knew this was good because I always had a part of it over there, and I just expanded it over to here. Because the profit's great, with no shrink, no loss. They have to come get it. They have to pay in 10 days. And what other business do you have where you sell everything you buy, barring nothing? It all goes.
Good point.
And it does help the road. It creates businesses. It's clean. Clean is I have tourists come in. They say how clean the road is around here. You know, because somebody might throw it out, but somebody else is going to pick it up. You know, and these guys, you go around Portland, you'll see these guys pushing the carriages and stuff like that with, you know, tons of bottles in it. Homeless people.
Yeah.
Some of those guys make over $100 a day.
Really?
Yeah, because businesses will set them aside for them.
Yeah.
And
so they're not necessarily picking up litter. They're picking up from
some litter and other companies.
I think it's a really fantastic idea. I live down at Old Orchard Beach, and I can tell you that the amount of people that kind of scour the beach looking for bottles, I think is fantastic. Anything that you can do that helps the environment, gives people a little bit of pocket money, I think is a good idea.
And another thing, I hire handicap. It's a fantastic job for them. Very simple, very easy, and they're pleased to be here.
Well, one big question, do you have any sense, especially since you live in New Hampshire, which is only half a mile away?
Yeah, we're right on the border.
Do you feel that you lose sales of beverages to people?
No, people don't pay any attention. They're not going to buy or not buy. Cigarettes, yes.
Really?
I'm right on the border with New Hampshire, and their cigarettes are at least $1 a pack less, and we don't sell a lot of cigarettes.
And since you do live over in New Hampshire, how do you think the prices compare of the products you sell versus the identical?
Cigarettes are the only thing, and that's all about taxes.
Right. This is the after-hours drop door. Just unlocks. Of course, the way this runs is that when you don't actually get money here, we give you a cash slip that you then have to take into the store, and 9 times out of 10, that slip is actually spent in the store.
Well, here comes another customer. So is the flow pretty steady?
Yeah, we will average anywhere between like 16 to 30,000 bottles a day.
16 to 30,000.
Yeah.
Wow, wow.
So,
now there's that fellow. He was here for what? 20 seconds. 20,
less
30
than that. We figure it's about 8 seconds to actually do your returns.
8 seconds, isn't that great? What's your name?
Ben. He was raising money to go for a baseball trip, so he's been...
Oh, great.
He has his own clink card, so he loves to like check and see how much money he has.
$35.50.
We would be very much interested in becoming a redemption center. We got 6 large communities in this area. Communities like Sulphur Springs, Bowmantown, Glendale, parts of Jonesboro. So we'll be seen as a company that is helping to cut down the waste in our landfills. I think we can be seen as a leader in this area for that.
Next, we'll hear from 3 manufacturers whose industry trade groups, glass, plastic, and aluminum, have all endorsed container deposits.
approximately 25 to 50% of the material we manufacture in this plant comes from used beverage cans. My opinion is that a deposit legislation is going to increase the volume in our plants, which is going to allow us to provide more jobs. It's going to reduce waste in the landfills, and it's going to use much less energy overall. It takes 95% less energy to recycle an aluminum can than to make aluminum from the primary products.
We make food grade products and textile products. We have a little over 200 employees here now. We've expanded about 20 employees in the last year. The thing that limits our expansion is not enough bale. All we do here is recycle 100% post-consumer recycled bale bottles. And our experience has been is that bottle bill states have an extremely high rate of recycling, from 60 to 90% recycle rates in bottle bill states. Recycle rate in the southeast U.S. is very low, under 10%. A tremendous part of our cost in these bales is freight. It can be as much as 20-25% of the cost of the bale. Very important for us and for our business to be able to locate bales in the southeastern part of the U.S. And presently, we need a lot more bales than we're able to find.
Hi, I'm Pete Walters, Vice President of Purchasing and Distribution for Saint-Gobain Containers. We're headquartered in Muncie, Indiana, with 13 plants in 11 states that produce our Veralia brand of containers. Saint-Gobain Containers would like nothing better than to repurchase and remelt every one of the 9 billion containers it makes each year, over and over. However, to do this, those containers cannot become roadside litter or be sent to the landfill after being used just once, as is presently the case more than 90% of the time in Tennessee. There's a robust market nationally for uncontaminated, appropriately sorted cullet, and this is particularly the case with respect to cullet collected from a state which has adopted beverage container deposit legislation. Because it's cleaner, such cullet demands a premium and reduces furnace contamination, reduces quality problems, making it a very desirable substitute for virgin raw materials. Single-stream recycling has substantial limitations. In particular, when recyclables are taken to the curbside and commingled, the recovery rate is drastically diminished for not only glass containers, but also other valuable single-streamed recyclables such as aluminum cans and plastic bottles. In effect, commingling contaminates the single-stream recycling process to such an extent that significant portions of the recyclables that each citizen places in their curbside recycling bin actually end up in the landfill.
And now we'll look at some of the other benefits of container deposits, from bottle drives and fundraisers to extra cash for folks on a fixed income to those who work with social service agencies.
SOS Industries is CERV's founding program. It got started in 1962. Since that time, the occupational workshop has grown. It has become a legitimate business.
We have 144 people that are eager to get involved in it. And you know, it's not just doing the work, but every job that we do helps enlighten our service recipients on what's going on in the world. They learn so much about through the products that they work with of what's out there and what's going on. This is going to inspire them to go green too. This will help them learn about recycling.
My name is Clifton Harris. I'm the Executive Director of the Metropolitan Homelessness Commission. The Bottle Bureau will generate resources that will be an opportunity, for people to get jobs. We call upon our elected officials to pass the bottle bill.
One reason bottle bills are so popular is that they raise tens of millions of dollars collectively every year in donation bins and bottle drives.
This is an example of we're trying to raise money for families that need fuel, and they're doing it through a bottle drive, and they're doing that statewide.
And now let's talk about the trash, the litter, and what this does to our landscapes, to our public image, and to our economy.
I'm Stephen Worley. I'm a full-time farmer, farm near Hampshire, Tennessee. We grow corn and wheat and soybeans and cattle. We have quite a bit of road frontage along our crop fields, and that means, unfortunately, that we have quite a few bottles in our fields. which is not only an eyesore and a nuisance, it's somewhat of a hazard. It's a hazard to tractor tires. The rear tractor tire is typically from $500 to $1,500 or even $2,000. Well, as a hunting and fishing guide, you know, I'm out in the great state of Tennessee over 300 days a year in the outdoors. And one of the things that's always troubled me is the amount of trash that I see on our roadways, and especially in the water. It really bothers me when I'm at a spot like the Caney Fork River. I don't have the answers, but I think we need to do something different. Besides getting everybody just to pick up trash. I have been to the state of Maine, I've been to Vermont, I've been to Iowa and some other places where they have these programs, and I don't see near the amount of trash. And I tend not to think that it's the people in Tennessee who are just so sloppy. I tend to think that something can be done to help, and I'm hoping that this new possible legislation that we can get passed would really help keep Tennessee clean.
Now here we have a typical road in Maine. Maine has about 4 ounces of litter per person per year. That's based on numbers extrapolated from the Department of Transportation, which is the only agency in Maine that picks up litter on a regular basis. Now here is a typical road in Tennessee. It's right around the corner from where I live in Wilson County. Our average litter rate is 4 pounds of litter per person per year. We've done many litter pickups on this road and on miles of roads across the state, and 50% is the average statewide by volume. And for the litter that isn't bottles and cans, this bill ensures the uninterrupted funding of the existing county litter grants program and funding for Keep Tennessee Beautiful. So how do people feel about paying a 5-cent deposit? Well, in the states that have them, people love the bill. How do you feel about having to pay a 5-cent deposit on beverage containers?
Don't bother me.
Greatest thing in the world.
Yeah. Don't
go to New Hampshire. You don't think it's worth it.
Really?
You see cans everywhere on the road there.
Go to New Hampshire.
Tennesseans like deposits too. According to 2 independent randomized surveys, including the respected MTSU poll and a University of Tennessee poll, more than 80% of Tennesseans support a 5-cent deposit. The County Mayors Association supports a Tennessee deposit, so does the Tennessee Farm Bureau, and so do ordinary Tennesseans, including hundreds that I met during a cross-state bicycle ride in 2007. From Nashville, to Camden, to Memphis, to Ripley, to Martin, to Dresden, to Murfreesboro, to Manchester, to Chattanooga, to Athens, to Knoxville, to Greenville, to Bristol. Even small store owners were happy to have a deposit as long as they weren't forced to open a redemption center, and perhaps the happiest of all were the parents and the grandparents who want to be able to leave to their children and their grandchildren a clean, green Tennessee.